Welcome to the Yeah We Know podcast, part of the More You Know's podcasting network. You're in the ring with Jimmy, Chris, and Rod. Gentlemen, lots of news coming out of the World Wrestling Entertainment Federation, TKO, everything like that. I don't know where to start. Wait, yes, I do. It's my show. I think one of the biggest stories that hasn't gotten a lot of really publicity is Raw's going to 2 hours. No more 3-hour Raws for basically the rest of the year. What did you think first off, Rod, when you heard that?
I was really surprised. I mean, because all we hear are that TV networks are basically desperate to keep live eyes on their network at any time. So the fact that USA is just giving up an hour of programming struck me as odd. But then I was like, okay, maybe there's something weird in the contract and how many hours of content they're supposed to get from the WWE. And now that they have 4, I guess, they couldn't have 5. I don't know. I did think to myself, cool, 1 hour less of wrestling to watch. But then I was also like, yeah, that means some people that I like to see are probably going to get squeezed. And that is probably not going to be good. So a lot of thoughts for me there, Jimmy, but those were the initial ones.
So, Chris, one thing that we had on our text thread is going down to 2 hours, yes, saves us time. But also think of this. Would Chad Gable and everything that he's done over the past 6 months or so, would that be even a thought in a 2-hour Raw? I'm a little nervous about that kind of stuff, Chris.
So in this scenario, I think Chad Gable's safe. I think it's the brothers and the girl who would have been squeezed out of whatever storyline is involved there.
Yeah, but then also, then it's not the same storyline. I think on the on the other side, though, I don't think we're going to see Cody Rhodes 3 times on a Raw or what a Gunther, whomever. You're not going to see those things as much anymore because we got to condense a lot. We may not see as many video packages. But also, we may not get as many in-ring, those 8 to 11 minute matches. They may go down to 3 to 5 minutes now.
And see, and that's another thing that I think we're really going to see that we're going to not like, right? Jimmy, you mentioned this a lot, starting to like that momentum that those episodes have when you have a couple of anchor matches in there that go for 12, 13, 14, even 15 minutes. You're like, man, right? You start getting the crowd chanting. You're like, hey, we've seen a lot of great spots in this. You know what I mean? So we're definitely going to get that sacrificed. As much as I'm not a Wyatt 6 guy, you're going to have a lot less time, like you said, for the vignettes to give them the build up. You're going to have a little bit less time for them to take 35 seconds to fill the arena with smoke and then just sit in a rocking chair before they actually even start to fight somebody. So, I mean, just a little bit of the pomp and circumstance is going to go away. And hopefully they're also going to tell people they got to wrap a little sooner we're talking in the middle of the ring, because that's an easy way we can make up some time.
How about you are able to eliminate some of the massive commercial breaks at the end of the final match? All right. Yeah. There's about 12 minutes of commercial during the last 15-minute match.
There is. Now, we also have to remember they do this during SmackDown. SmackDown's 2 hours. SmackDown's been going very well. We can continue to do that, so we'll be okay. Speaking of SmackDown, the final SmackDown on Fox. And really, you have to say that it was a success. The on Fox, it really helped WWE go into the next stratosphere, really, of popularity. It brought it back. Tribal Chief, number 1, I think had so much to do with that as well, and that's storytelling. It does go back now, or no, it doesn't go back. It goes for the first time to USA on Fridays, and they're going to start off with a match, a championship match between Cody Rhodes and Solo Sikoa inside a steel cage. And Rod, we know steel cage is up, no one's getting in.
Yeah, that's impenetrable. We've never seen any shenanigans whatsoever with the steel cage in the history of the WWE. Hey, give Cody anything to make something entertaining, right? I mean, there's got to be something that comes entertaining out of this match. Perhaps Cody can do a Cody cutter off of, climbing halfway up the steel cage or something that makes him seem a little bit more exciting. I don't know, because, man, I couldn't be less excited for this match, Jimmy. And normally I would be praising the WWE for giving us a title match on free live TV, because they just don't do that very often unless you're the tag team belts or the United States Championship.
Well, that's why you don't do it, just because you want it to be special. You want people to tune in. And, there might be a certain segment of the population that gives a shot here to Solo Sikoa. Why not? Maybe he could win it, Chris. What do you think?
I mean, if I'm still to listen to my elders of WWE fandom and say that the WWE is allowed to do anything at any given time, then why couldn't Solo take the belt on a random Friday to turn around and lose it at Bad Blood?
It could happen. What bigger way to say anything can happen at any time than having Solo Sikoa win the championship on the first SmackDown of the USA Network era. Speaking of anything that can happen anytime, Rod, we got to pour one out for your boy. A gimmick that starts off with losing never ever works. It doesn't matter who you are, except Daniel Bryan, I guess, but he got killed a couple weeks ago. Giovanni Vinci, Rod, your boy is back, and he lost. He didn't only lose; he lost quickly. He didn't only lose quickly; he lost to Apollo Crews.
I laughed out loud. Honestly, I laughed out loud. I thought it was chef's kiss brilliant to take a guy like Vinci, who nobody really cared about when they threw him off to the side and tossed him out of Imperium, right? And then they bring him back with all these vignettes, and they're like, hey, remember this guy who you sort of didn't care about and really never did anything that made him seem that cool? No, turns out he's actually the coolest dude in the world, wears Italian fancy suits, drives Italian sports cars, and women everywhere fall all over him. You can't wait until this guy comes back and shows you what he's really about, and then he gets beat in under 3 seconds. Just absolute brilliant stuff. I think there's many ways you can go with this gimmick. They don't end with Giovanni Vinci having a long reign as a world champion, but they do end with him drawing a little bit of heat for a while and being involved in some cool storylines. So chef's kiss to him. I loved it.
Chris, this didn't do anything for you, did it?
No, but now that Rod has given me an idea, I think you could take a character like that, a character like Baron Corbin, a character like Apollo Crews, and turn them into, your lovable loser. Anytime someone that is wearing a belt sends out an open challenge, one of these schlubs comes out, be like, I'm going to take you out, blah, blah, blah. Quick little 3-second match. You get the belt wearer an easy over. You get to see them take some bumps on a regular week show. So I think you need to do something like that. Make those guys your every week losers.
Somewhere the Miz is like, Chris, you're taking food off of my table.
Maybe they could form a faction and call themselves the Job Squad, perhaps.
Shout out to Al Snow.
I also don't need to hear them talk. I don't need those guys on the mic. Give me a short little vignette, maybe once in a while, but other than that, just let them come in and get their butt kicked.
So for the main event of the final SmackDown ever on Fox, with the Bloodline versus DIY and the Street Profits, I thought this was a fun match. I enjoyed it tremendously. There were times there where it's like, oh yeah, here's when Gargano gets pinned. Here's where Ciampa gets. Oh no, they didn't. Ciampa with a terrific superplex onto everybody. That was awesome. Obviously, the Bloodline had to win this. Montez Ford gets the loss there. I thought overall it was really a solid matchup, Rod.
Every time DIY is on my screen, I feel a little bit of sadness because I'm looking at these guys who are 100% game for everything, right? They'll get guys over, they'll take crazy spots, they'll almost kill themselves. You know what I mean? They'll do all of this stuff, right? They'll be real excited for the crowd. They're wearing bright, shiny stuff, and just nobody really cares that much. And I just feel so bad for DIY all the time because they're absolutely involved in bangers. That was a great match. The Bloodline works. All right. The Bloodline works. As much as I don't like these guys, it's perfect for these three dudes to basically have no personality other than we're ass kickers. And it absolutely works in my opinion. So I thought it was kind of like, man, none of these guys are huge stars to be the last people on camera as we go out of the Fox era. But, it was a good match.
Okay. We also got the announcement that Survivor Series is going to be in Canada, and tickets went on sale today for that, which means, gentlemen, tickets for the Royal Rumble are about a month away going on sale. Let's go. Cannot wait for that. Also, the WWE had an investors call, I believe, or it was kind of a state of the TKO, and they said they're going to do a lot less live events, WWE wise, as far as your house shows, but they're going to make the tickets at more premium prices for the other events. So Why don't we just start with the Rumble on that one? Why the heck not? 600 level seats, $500. It'll be fine. I'm okay with that. We can afford that. It's easy to pay for things like that. Monday Night Raw, a good show. Couple good things going on this show. I really enjoyed Drew McIntyre, CM Punk, Hell in a Cell at Bad Blood. You can't go wrong with that, can you, Chris King?
No, I mean I think it was you, Jimmy, who actually called this maybe about 8 months ago, where you said, "Do we just let them go straight to a Hell in the Cell and skip the other 2 matches?" I think you did. So kudos. That's where we're at now. I'm going to be watching. I'm going to be rooting for my boy Drew. I do think he's due for a win. So let's see him put CM Punk out of his misery, and injured again. So he goes back onto the IR, and then we'll see Punk next year.
We watch this we don't want him to actually get hurt, do we? Or you do?
I mean, isn't that his MO? Doesn't he always get hurt?
Well, yeah, we don't want to wish it upon him, Chris, right?
I mean, when things keep happening over.
Look at you not answering questions like we've seen a lot lately.
It's no longer wishing or not. It's just factual because it's inevitable.
Chris, are you with you? Anyway, no, never mind. Rod, what do you think about the Hell in a Cell?
I think that the Hell in a Cell is going to be cool. I'm coming around on CM Punk. I tend to think that he's a little verbose, and I understand that that's rich coming from a guy like me, but I think he's a little verbose at times. All right, so he gets on my nerves with some of that, but I'm coming around on CM Punk. I don't know about best in the world. I think that that's a little bit of overkill, but I mean, hey, everybody's supposed to overbrag in the world of professional wrestling, so I suppose I should give him a break there. My overall thought on Raw, Jimmy, is this, and I really wonder if you were going to get there, and I apologize if I'm jumping us ahead, but I thought Joe Tessitore for a second broadcast was absolutely on fire. I mean, I really noticed him. I really noticed that he knew what he was talking about, right? You can tell that the guy is a seasoned broadcaster who was looking at the charts the same way he would before he goes and does Ole Miss versus Arkansas. And I just thought that I really got what they're going for, right? I thought Tess had the right mix of what Michael Cole does, but then the right mix of what Joe normally does, calling a straight up sport, right? And I thought he found a good marriage there. And I thought he was great.
You bring up a good point there, because when he goes to that Ole Miss St. John's game or whatever, he goes in the day before and has to learn a ton of stuff about a ton of people he doesn't know anything about. It's kind of the same thing coming into WWE. He may know people, but he doesn't know moves. And you kind of saw that week 1, but he can learn quickly. And that's, with some of the other people, they weren't the play-by-play people. They were more the studio people that read off a teleprompter, whereas he doesn't. So that's a very good point, Chris. What'd you think about the new broadcast team?
Listen, it was so smooth that you don't really realize it's a new team. It felt right? Yes, I know I'm a Pat McAfee fan. I enjoy him and Michael Cole, but this Raw felt normal. It didn't feel like it was something new that was trying to be forced on us. It felt good. It felt normal.
And Wade Barrett too. I should shout out Wade Barrett here. He's
real solid.
He's made a real good ascension, right? When he kind of got brought back in, people were kind of like, "What's going on here?" And he's just continued to do a good job. And heck, he might even have a match with Chris's boy here, Jimmy. They gave us a little bit of a side road possible there.
He better stop squaring up, is what he better do.
I think that I think that those two and Sheamus, just because they've been best friends for 30 years now, would be kind of a cool thing to do. My boy Gunther. Okay. First of all, Bret Hart, love Bret Hart. One of my favorites. He's top 5 all time for me. I love me some Bret Hitman Hart. I love his old school 80s promo. You're yellow. Yeah, you are. Am I yellow? Am I? Really? Am I that? I love that. Don't get me wrong. Good for Bret. When Gunther says you're my second favorite wrestler to Goldberg, Chris, Goldberg ended Bret's career essentially. A lot of stuff happened. He hates Goldberg with a passion. I think Bret Hart laughed at that too. That was awesome, Chris.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think anybody really expected that. Now, I know that was
because that hits home. That's real.
But I know that there have been interviews with Brett going hard on Goldberg about all of this, as hard as he goes on Vince about the screw job. So, like, there was heat there. That's real heat, which is great that the WWE uses that.
My favorite one is where it's a on camera interview of Brett that they ran in the WCW versus Monday Night Wars one, right? And he's like, in a match before Bill, I said, Bill, when you give me the spear, don't injure me and take me out. He like did it to him 3 times, and then literally in the match, what does Goldberg do? Spear him too hard, and Bret Hart's done for. So just no, he's not a fan of Goldberg, and I love that line, and I love Gunther, man. Gunther continues to just be able to draw heat, man. I mean, honestly, Jimmy, if we're talking heat in like anger heat, it goes Dom Mysterio still number 1, but Gunther's easily 2 right now.
People love to hate him. He's good in the ring, gotten so much better on the mic. I've been such a big fan of his, and I can't wait to see him destroy Sami Zayn as well, because I'm a fan too, Chris, and I want to see Gunther win.
He's going to Columbia getting beat down too is probably definitely what we're going to see. But maybe we'll even see Sammy at Bad Blood though, I guess, because they could tell that story there too.
I think Bad Blood is probably where we're going. Speaking of Bad Blood, we had a fatal 4-way number 1 contenders match, Intercontinental Championship. Jey Uso, Braun Strowman, Ilya Dragunov, and Pete Dunne. Another really good, hard-hitting, fun match all around. We had Bronson Reed come back to destroy Braun Strowman. It's time for Jey Uso to win the Intercontinental Championship. He's so over. It's not even funny. Having him win that belt and yeet at the end, it's terrific timing, except Rod. The Intercontinental Champion is Braun Breaker, and he should not lose. What do we do?
You're absolutely right. It's that age-old conundrum that you and I have gone back and forth with so many different times on the show. You and I even fought about this numerous times before Chris joined us, right? Where you and I'd be like, well, yeah, but this guy, he can't lose. But yeah, but this guy, absolutely, he has to win, right? And so it's just that age-old conundrum of like only one person can be the belt holder. What I took out of this match is that, like, yes, Braun Strowman and Bronson Reed. This is good use of these guys, right? Because something else that's been a present theme for us, Jimmy, is we talk about how the big guys have it tough sometimes, right? And Braun showed how in a match with guys who aren't big, you can still make it great. Bronson and him having the feud is wonderful, because when Strowman first came out after Bronson was wiping people out for weeks, like I think all of us said in our head, there's only one guy back there who could stop Bronson Reed, and then that guy walked out, you know what I mean? And then he got sent through a car. So it's just, I love everything they're doing there. And I don't know. I think there's more that you can do with Jey Uso and Rhea Ripley, frankly, that people will like more than putting the belt on him. So I can see a world where he doesn't have to win. And because I'm just going to tell everybody else right here, before that match, I sent the text to our group thread and said, if Dragunov doesn't win, we riot. That's who I wanted to win the match. Give me Dragunov versus Breaker. That's what I wanted to see.
Dragunov would just do anything to get Breaker to kill him. And I think that would have been terrific. Chris, are you excited for the Jey Uso Intercontinental Championship match against Braun Breaker, which I think is happening on TV? I don't know if it's going to go to Bad Blood.
Yeah, so I'm with Rod. I don't see how you can have Jey Uso win this if you're the WWE. I am going to be rooting for Braun Breaker to keep this belt on him. I don't want to see the Intercontinental belt change more often than the US belt, right? Like, it still needs to have some chutzpah on it, it needs to mean something.
Yeah, yellow.
So let's keep it on Breaker and have this feud with him, Strowman, Reed. That's a good feud for me. And you can make that last a long time, and you can buy whoever ends up on top out of those 3, I think.
That's a cool triple threat match, Chris. I'm so with you on that. That's cool.
For sure. And then finally, I do want to really quick, Finn Balor, Damian Priest. That's going to be a battle. I'm really looking forward to that. Balor needs a good win here. He really, really does. I don't know if he's going to get it because they still want Priest to go over.
If Finn Balor doesn't win, Jimmy, that's not what Finn Balor does.
I know. He's the Kevin Owens of Raw. Yeah. He really is. And it just happens to be one of my, the 2 favorite guys I have always lose. But that's fine. They're good wrestlers.
What I loved about that was Priest, right? I want to see more guys do what Priest did. He came to the ring with purpose, right? He didn't walk down slow and let his music build. He jumped in real quick and said, all right, you can say what you're going to say, but then I'm going to punch you in the mouth. And then he just threw the microphone down. I thought that was so awesome.
So you're going to say, I'm going to punch you. Speaking of that, Chris, anything to say before we head out of here?
How can you keep leaving our boy's name out of your mouth week after week? We keep just forgetting him. It's a champion, Jimmy. He deserves our respect. All right. Can you let me tell you something? Let me talk to you. It's L.A. Knight.
Yeah.
So he wasn't talking about NXT champion Ethan Page, Jimmy. Just to be,
I was like, why did he do something? All right, talk about LA Knight.
Oh, I really just wanted to talk about how you weren't talking about LA Knight.
he's just mad that we haven't said his name. That's all. But no, listen, LA Knight, I think it's great, but I think we're at like, I don't know if I want LA Knight just coming to the ring every week saying, bring me anybody and I waste them. I'm not necessarily sure that I buy LA Knight as that guy. So like, let's get him somebody he can feud with. Cause I like LA Knight's best work has been his Mountain Dew pitch black match with the late great, Bray Wyatt. His best match has been the feud with Logan Paul. You know what I mean? Like his best match was leading up to Roman Reigns, right? Like he does better when he can go back and forth with somebody a little bit and use that ability to bring heat on the microphone to somebody before a match. Just like, hey, I'm here in my fancy vest. I don't know that works.
And just wait until LA Knight becomes the number one baby face in the company. Just like Drew McIntyre's the baby face. Wait until LA Knight becomes that type of baby face, and we'll see what happens there, because that'll be pretty cool too. Rod, anything to talk about before we head out?
I just want to shout out again, Joe Tessitore. All right. I think it's unfortunate you just got the job and they're taking an hour away from you, my man. But I think it's really, really great. And hey, I think Adnan Burke only made it 3 episodes. So, I mean, you're already
one to go, baby.
You're already basically there, Joe. And you were way better on your second than Adnan ever was. So I want to bring the Joe Tess home one more time, because I enjoyed Joe Tess's work on the reboot of Battle of the Network Stars. I enjoyed Joe Tess's work on Holy Moly with Rob Riggle, and I absolutely enjoy his work when he's calling a straight-up legitimate football game, like his Monday Night Booth for a while and College Saturday. So having him on wrestling is kind of like Chris has his guy Pat McAfee. I got my guy Joe Tess. I got a non-wrestler now, Jimmy. I got my favorite referees, I got my favorite wrestlers, and now I have my favorite broadcaster.
And I got my guys Rod and Chris. And with that, you've been listening to the Yeah We Know podcast, part of the More You Knows podcast network. You're in the ring with Jimmy, Rod, and Chris.
Goodbye, Net. Yeah.
People are really clamoring for my list of favorite referees. That'll be coming soon.